This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, September 28th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thank you for being with us here in Northeast Ohio. We start today in Summit County. That's where a 23-year-old Akron woman was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for the brutal murder of her own mother. Sydney Powell was convicted last week of the 2020 murder of Brenda Powell by hitting her with an iron skillet and stabbing her more than 30 times. She was also found guilty of felonious assault and tampering with evidence. After her sentencing, her attorney, Don Malarsic, tells us he was upset that prosecutors wouldn't meet with him during the trial to address concerns about his client's mental health.
The jury said Sydney Powell has a serious mental disease. And the prosecution ignored that and trampled upon everyone who has a mental disease.
Malarsic said he wanted to avoid a trial altogether, but prosecutors would not let that happen. We reached out to the prosecutors, but they were not available for comment at this time. Now this afternoon, we've learned that a man has died after being found downtown with stab wounds. A Cleveland EMS supervisor found the man laying in the middle of Lakeside Avenue last night. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. That's all we know right now. Stay with 3 News as we update this story when more details come out. Now to a story making national headlines about a high number of missing children in Cleveland. Our 3 News Investigates team is digging deeper into the headlines that were shared around the country this week. In an exclusive interview with 3 News investigator Lena Lai, Cleveland Police Chief Wayne Drummond said the way the story is being presented is just not true.
Important that we set the record straight. What's out there is inaccurate. It's important that our citizens really check the sources.
All right, the headline he's talking about read, 1,000 children reported missing in Cleveland. But Chief Drummond says that lacks context. There are not 1,000 children missing in Cleveland. As of today, he says there are 65 minors currently missing. 14 of them are considered endangered.
Harmful are sensationalized headlines.
It's extremely harmful. It's mainly harmful for the families of the missing individuals. It hurts them, and sometimes it hurts our investigation. I just want everyone to know that we care deeply about finding missing juveniles or adults and bring them safely to their loved ones.
Right now, one of those missing children is 15-year-old Keshaun Williams, who's been missing since June from Slavic Village. It's believed to be Cleveland's longest active Amber Alert, so if you have any information about his whereabouts, please contact Cleveland Police. And if you want to learn more about why that headline was written the way it was, go to WKYC.com. Now to a bizarre story out of Westlake. Police arrested this man, 66-year-old Christopher Carey, while he was wearing a Michael Myers mask and waving a knife around. A woman saw this happening, so naturally she called 911, and Carey told police it was all a misunderstanding.
Walking around with a mask on in public if you're just
I'm playing with my grandson.
People from a distance might not know if the knife is real or not, and you obviously scared someone up for them to call 911.
Now, police on the scene say Carey also had a toy handgun in his pocket. He was taken to the Westlake jail and charged with aggravated menacing. Now in Rootstown, a man is under arrest after striking a school bus with his car yesterday. Officials say the bus was stopped on New Milford Road when 29-year-old Dusty Waterhouse of Kent went left of center, forcing the bus to steer out of the way. Waterhouse sideswiped the bus, then went off the road, hitting a mailbox. Authorities say they saw signs of impairment when questioning him, so he was arrested for OVI. There was minor damage to the bus, and luckily we can tell you no one was hurt. Now to Lorain, where police arrested a man for running an alleged drug operation. Marcus Johnson is accused of having meth, cocaine, marijuana, and a loaded gun at a home less than 1,000 feet from 2 schools. Johnson has been charged with trafficking, drug possession, and having criminal tools and weapons under disability. Now in Fairport Harbor, crews have been on the scene cleaning up after a chemical leak at a water treatment facility. Officials tell us a chlorine canister broke at the plant, so it was evacuated. Police say no water was contaminated from the spill and no injuries were reported. Willoughby Hills Fire says several fire departments and hazmat crews showed up to the scene. All right, now today we've learned that big changes are coming to this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The Rock Hall announced it will stream the ceremony live for the first time ever on Disney+. Now, in the past, the ceremony was pre-taped and then aired at a later time on HBO. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame also shared which performers will be taking the stage this year. That includes Missy Elliott, Willie Nelson, and Elton John, to name a few. For more about this year's induction ceremony, you can head over to WKYC.com. And speaking of great live entertainment, tonight Playhouse Square will unveil new marquees at its theaters with help from a special guest. Singer Andy Grammer will help the theater district with their big debut tonight at an event called Marquee Moments. It starts at 5:30 p.m. on Euclid Avenue outside of the Playhouse Square theaters. It's free to go in person, and if you can't make it, we'll take you there live with our own Isabel Lawrence in our 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. shows today. And that brings us to our question of the day. With the unveiling of the new marquees tonight, we want to know, what shows would you like to see come through Cleveland? Post your comment to the WKYC Facebook page, and we'll talk about it during 3 News at 4 and 3 News at 5. And I can't wait to see Come From Away when it does come here. I know that it will. All right, it is a new era for Heinz. Yesterday, the company introduced a new condiment. This is inspired by none other than Taylor Swift. There was a post from a fan account that everyone was sharing on social media showing Taylor hugging another woman at the Kansas City Chiefs game this past Sunday. And the post was captioned, "Taylor Swift was eating a piece of chicken with ketchup and seemingly ranch." That's the new name for the sauce, ketchup and seemingly ranch. So here's the catch. Heinz will only be releasing 100 limited edition bottles. So if you want some ketchup and seemingly ranch, you better get on that, because there's only going to be a couple of them. Kind of like those Taylor Swift tickets, really hard to get. I wonder if they really are dating, Taylor and Travis Kelce. I hope they are. I would love to see them here around Cleveland. All right, thank you for being here with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Wherever you're watching or listening, we appreciate you. We'll be back here tomorrow with more of what matters most to you here in Northeast Ohio. Have a beautiful Thursday, everybody.